Hi there, welcome to this week's Weekend Warrior video. I'm Mike Watchmaker, National Handicapper for Daily Racing Form. The three stakes races I'm going to talk about for this week are the Silverbulletday, one of six races, stakes events at Fairgrounds on Saturday, the Marshua's River, one of two stakes races Saturday at Gulfstream, and the feature at Santa Anita de la Cañada. But let's begin with the Silverbulletday. This is for three-year-old fillies going a mile and 70 yards, and three of the entrants in here are coming out of the have competed in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, they being Blonde Bomber, who got off the rail early on the backstretch in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, made a full wide run around the far turn, and finished third. Wonder Godot, who has run one time since the Breeders' Cup, she capitalized being with a very, very slow early pace on the Demoiselle at Aqueduct and won that race. But in the Breeders' Cup, she had a terrible trip. She steadied in the early stages, was 5 wide on the first turn, 3 wide on the far turn. And steadied in deep stretch too, although that steady and deep stretch really only cost her one position. And then the other starter in the Silverbulletday who competed in the Breeders' Cup was Heavenly Love, who was my juvenile fillies pick and who was well-positioned fourth in the early stages, then caved in and packed it in and finished a distant 11th. Yet I'm going back to Heavenly Love, and here's why. I'm of a strong belief that the rail was absolutely not the place to be on Breeders' Cup Friday and Saturday on the main track at Del Mar. In fact, the only horse who won during those two Breeders' Cup cards who raced on the rail was Gunrunner. And of course, he's much more than even an average stakes horse. I mean, he's got a cinch to be the 2017 Horse of the Year. And he ran the best race he ever ran when he set the pace on the inside and won the Breeders' Cup Classic. Heavenly Love was mired on the dead rail in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. She never got off it, whereas, as I noted, Blonde Bomber got off the inside early in the backstretch, and Wonder Godot was never near the inside. And I actually think that those two, despite the ground loss, were in the better footing and benefited from it, whereas Heavenly Love was severely compromised in the deeper dead rail. Two starts back, Heavenly Love showed that she's a filly with ability when she dominated the Alcibiades at Keeneland. She showed good position early speed to track the early pace and then just drowned her field in the late stages, running strongly through the wire, showed a really nice turn of foot. And I think if she can return to that form, this field could be in trouble. So I'm going back to Heavenly Love in the Silverbulletday at Fairgrounds. Let's move on to the Marshua's River at Gulfstream. This is on the turf at a mile and a 16th. It's race 9 there. And I am scared to death of Gianna's Dream in here. Gianna's Dream looks like she's a likely addition to what is a ever-growing list of Mike Maker claims who turn into graded stakes winners on the turf. And in fact, Gianna's Dream almost won a graded stakes race last time out when she was second, beating only a neck in the grade 3 My Charmer, also at Gulfstream. She set the pace that day. I don't think she's going to set the pace this time around. I think Ultra Brat will be the one to set the pace, but Gianna's Dream is equally effective, if not more effective, when she has a target to run at. So I'm very, very scared of her, but I still prefer Dream Dancing in this spot. Dream Dancing competed against the best 3-year-old turf fillies around last year, and 2 starts back, she won the Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks. She is 2 for 2 on the Gulfstream Park turf course. I do think there's enough early pace in this race to set up Dream Dancing's late kick, and she picks up a Rod Ortiz Jr., who's riding absolutely out of his mind at the Gulfstream meet and who fits closers like Dream Dancing very well. So as afraid as I am of Gianna's Dream, I'm looking for Dream Dancing to get up in the late stages here. Let's close it out with the La Cañada at Santa Anita. And Majestic Heat might be the favorite in here because she, after being strictly a turf specialist for most of her career, in fact, her first 14 career starts came on the turf. She moved to dirt in her last 2 starts. She's won stakes races in both of those outings, and she's all of a sudden now a dirt monster. But she was well set up in those two wins, and I'm still just a little bit skeptical of a horse who was considered such a turf specialist early in her career that she didn't actually set foot on dirt in a race until the 15th start of her life. I prefer Moppetism in this race. Moppetism ran in Grade 1 races in 6 of her last 8 starts, and I think that she'll find this an easier spot. She was also, I thought, a very decent third last time out in the Grade 1 La Brea behind a very heady pair in Unique Bella and Paradise Woods. Those are really top horses, Grade 1 stakes winners both. And that was at 7 furlongs, and that race really has the look to me of a stone cold prep from Optimism. And now she's suitably stretching back out to 2 turns. I don't think she has to be that far off the early pace in here. There isn't a tremendous amount of early speed. And I think she's going to be well positioned this time, especially in this easier spot. I'm looking for Mopitism to get the money in here, but I am intrigued with Union Strike, who showed, I thought, a lot of ability as a 2-year-old when she won the Del Mar debutante in only her second career start. And things just haven't gone well for her ever since. But she's coming off a 7-month layoff. She might need this race, but if Union Strike is straightened out, and given the fact that she did get a 7-month layoff, she might be straightened out now. I think she's a very talented horse. She might need this race, but I'm interested to see how she performs in this race for future reference. That's it for this week's video, Weekend Warrior. Thanks for watching.